In the heart of Willow Creek lived a landlord, cunning and ambitious. His name was Reginald Thorne, a man whose reputation preceded him. He desired all the land for himself, dreaming of vast fields and overflowing coffers. His vision was not just of wealth, but of absolute control over the land and its people. His eyes, sharp as an eagle's, missed no opportunity. Every glance was a calculation, every smile a mask hiding his true intentions. He knew the villagers' weaknesses, their trust and their fears. He observed their daily routines, their struggles and their dreams, storing this knowledge like a weapon. He used this knowledge to his advantage, weaving webs of deceit to claim what wasn't his. Contracts were drawn with hidden clauses, promises made with no intention of keeping them. He saw himself as a shrewd businessman, but beneath the surface lurked a heart growing colder with each stolen acre. The land he coveted became a symbol of his power, and he would stop at nothing to expand his domain. The villagers whispered tales of his cunning, their voices hushed with fear. Stories of families losing their homes, of livelihoods destroyed, spread like wildfire. They knew better than to cross him, accepting his manipulations as their fate. Resistance seemed futile, and hope was a luxury they could not afford. They were simple folk, bound to the land by generations of toil and tradition. Their lives were intertwined with the soil, their identities forged by the seasons and the harvests. They lacked the landlord's sharp wit and legal cunning. His education and resources gave him an edge they could never hope to match. They were easy prey, trapped in his intricate schemes, their voices silenced by their fear. The once vibrant community now lived under the shadow of his ambition, their spirits broken, their futures uncertain. Among the villagers lived Old Willow, a widow with a heart as kind as her name. She was known far and wide for her gentle spirit and unwavering dedication to her land. Her weathered hands, gnarled with age, told stories of a life spent nurturing the earth. Each wrinkle and scar was a testament to the countless hours she had spent tending to her beloved garden. Her small plot of land, passed down through generations, was her everything. It was more than just soil and plants. It was a living, breathing part of her family's history. It was her legacy, her security, her connection to a past filled with love and laughter. The old family house, with its creaking floors and faded photographs, held memories of joyous gatherings and shared meals. She tended to it with a devotion that bordered on sacred, each seed sown a prayer whispered to the wind. Her whispers were filled with hopes for a bountiful harvest and gratitude for the land's generosity. The land provided for her, its bounty feeding her and her small flock of chickens. The vegetables she grew were vibrant and plentiful, a testament to her careful nurturing. The trees, planted by her grandfather, offered shade from the summer sun. Their sturdy branches and rustling leaves were a constant reminder of the family's enduring presence. The earth beneath her feet held the memories of her ancestors, their laughter echoing in the rustling leaves. Each step she took was a walk through history, a journey through time. It was her haven, a sanctuary where she found solace and peace. In the quiet moments, surrounded by the beauty of her garden, she felt a deep connection to the land and to those who had come before her. The landlord set his sights on Old Willow's land, a piece of property that had been in her family for generations. It sat at the edge of his burgeoning estate, a tempting morsel to add to his growing wealth. The land was fertile and rich, perfect for expanding his agricultural ventures. He knew Old Willow was vulnerable, a lone woman with no one to protect her. Her family had long since passed, leaving her isolated and without support. He devised a plan, a contract with hidden clauses and misleading promises. The document was crafted to appear beneficial, but it was a trap. He approached Old Willow with feigned concern, promising to take care of her land while she was away. He spoke of friendship and community, masking his true intentions. Old Willow, her eyesight failing, trusted the landlord's honeyed words. She believed he was a kind neighbor, someone who would look out for her best interests. She signed the document, unaware that she had unwittingly surrendered her most prized possession. The fine print was impossible for her to read, and she had no one to advise her. The ink was barely dry when the landlord's men arrived, their faces grim, their intentions clear. They came with tools and materials, ready to claim what they believed was now theirs. They erected fences, claiming Old Willow's land as their masters. The once open and welcoming field was now enclosed, a stark reminder of the landlord's deceit. Old Willow was devastated. Her heart ached with a pain that ran deeper than any physical wound. She pleaded with the landlord, her voice trembling with betrayal and despair, but he turned a deaf ear to her pleas. Desperate, she sought help from the village elders, but they were powerless against the landlord's influence. Determined to fight for her legacy, Old Willow, armed with her unwavering spirit and the support of her fellow villagers, took her case to the village court. She stood before the judge, her weathered hands clutching a worn photograph of her family on the land, her voice clear and strong as she recounted the landlord's treachery. However, the landlord had bribed everyone and had presented ownership papers. Thus, the court delivered the judgment in the landlord's favor. The old lady then prepared to vacate the land while the landlord and his associates stood there waiting for her to leave. While leaving, filled with tears, the old lady approached the landlord and said, "Sir, you have taken everything from me today. My entire life was spent here, but now I am leaving. The land here is where I played, grew up with my family, and this soil is very dear to me." She added further, "We all are made of soil, and so anyone can have an affection towards it. Allow me to carry a basket filled with this soil to keep with me. With that by my side, I will always have an aroma of this place till I die peacefully." The landlord smirked, thinking since he had gained ownership of her entire land without paying her, might as well let her have a basket of soil so she can leave quietly. He said, "Fine, you can fill up your basket." The old lady started filling up her basket with soil. She overfilled it and was struggling to lift the basket to carry over her head. She then told the landlord, "Sir, will you please lend a hand to put the basket over my head?" The landlord came forward to help and said, "Oh, you poor old lady, didn't you think before you overfilled this basket? You are struggling to lift this basket filled with soil, then how can you carry this with you?" With tears in her eyes, the old lady said, "Oh, sir, this entire land was my own. Spent my whole life here. Yet I am struggling to carry a single basket of soil from here while I am still breathing. I won't be able to take it with me when I die. You, sir, have so much of others' land. How will you carry it all with you?" The landlord stood stunned hearing this. He realized his mistake and fell to the old lady's feet asking for forgiveness. He requested her to live here happily and returned her land.